This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars podcast. This is STARCAST for Wednesday the 8th of April. There was no Easter miracle in the end on Easter Sunday. Your Billingham Stars season ended in Blackburn on Sunday night. More on that later. Playoffs still going on. Obviously, there's the Steel City Showdown to come. We'll talk about that as well. Plenty to talk about. One or two little topics perhaps in this first of a 14-hour epic marathon edition. Something close to that anyway. But before Jono and Carol and I, evening, hello by the way, get into too much detail, we're pleased to be joined on this week's podcast by the captain of your Billingham Stars, and we're joined by Michael Elder. Mikey, thanks for jumping on the podcast tonight.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, guys.
Evening, and pleasure's ours as always. It's not even 48 hours since the end of the game in Blackburn. What's the current feeling for yourself and the guys after Sunday night?
Mixed emotions, I guess. Obviously, look, we knew it was going to be a tall task. We knew it was going to be a tall task the weekend before when we played Telford. Obviously, we were going in as the 5th seed against Telford being 4. So we knew that was going to be a tough weekend, and I think it was. Obviously, we've played quite good hockey down the stretch, so we weren't really focused on any weekend apart until obviously Blackburn after that. So we kind of got through that relatively unscathed, and we were quite confident going into the weekend. Obviously, we knew we had the home game on Saturday, and I thought we were really pretty unlucky to come out with a 3-3 draw, if I'm being honest. I thought we probably played one of the best games we've played all season. We were really unlucky. I hit the crossbar in the second. Rowley hit the post and a breakaway in the second. And I thought after that first period I thought the second period we really took it to them, and we were unlucky not to come out there with a bigger lead. And I think if you look back at the 6 periods as a whole, I think that's probably come back to bite us. Look, Harrison played like Harrison does, and he probably saves his best games when he plays against us. And he made some great stops in the post in on a few occasions. And I think if they're being truly honest, I think they were probably I think they'll admit themselves that they were quite fortunate to get out of Billingham with a 3-3 draw, and they'll probably been really happy with that after the second period. So going down there again, we knew it's hard. We've struggled there this season, albeit we haven't had a full roster going down there. And we were pretty much at full strength on Sunday, and they kind of just caught us flat-footed, and it was just we kind of dug ourselves a hole that was too big to dig ourselves out of. After the first period, we seemed to settle in a bit. I think the second period was a draw, and then the third period we probably opened the game up a little bit too much, trying to claw ourselves back into the side, and then they caught us at the back a few times. But yeah, on a whole, I think we. For the last game in front of our fans at the Forum, I think we put on a good performance. Lots of positives, and looking back on it, probably a shame that we couldn't do that a few more times this year. The season might have been different, but lots of positives to take, and I'm sure there's a long summer for everyone to have a rest and come back rejuvenated, ready to go again next year.
Yeah. Well, that's the podcast summary. Thank you very much. We'll leave it there. Carol, do you want to jump on?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. I think Blackburn will count themselves very fortunate to come out of the Forum at level, because I thought we were just so good again, and I think that the chances we had in the second period, especially, you're probably right. They probably did come back to haunt us, because at the end of the day, I think if we'd gone into Blackburn with a little bit of a lead, that first period might not have been that first period. I think we would have gone in with a little bit more about us. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
But you know, they are the league champions at the end of the day. You don't win a league through luck. You win it because you're the better team over the course of the season. And I said on last week's pod, actually, I said the best team would win. And at the end of the day, regardless of the shenanigans that have gone on around both games, the best team won. But overall, I think we can just be massively proud of the weekend. You know, if you take one period out of it, just so closely matched and so much effort put in, and yeah, just I feel nothing but pride about the weekend.
Yeah.
Likewise, yeah.
I mean, it's the last kind of 4 or 5 weeks. You could argue we've been playing playoff hockey since kind of we're on that big away trip, when we've never played at the Forum for a while. That seems to have galvanised something. We started kind of building momentum during that road period, and playing kind of playoff hockey before the playoffs started. So when we did come, even the week before, we had a home and home with D-side, so that was like a series. So when we came to play Telford, we were kind of already in kind of playoff mode.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a strange one, because we've almost been playing with less fear and less pressure on ourselves. We've known what position we're in for quite a while. We've probably from the outside, gone into playoffs. A few teams thinking, oh well, Billingham's just had a bit of a down year. They're probably not expecting this. And to be honest, we've probably played more freely than we have all season long. When you play with a big target on your back, there's quite a bit of pressure to perform every single game, and that comes with winning the league and winning cups and winning. That's what we all love to do. But so going into the playoffs, we've almost had no expectations to do it. Or from the outside looking in, there's been no expectations for us to really do anything in the playoffs. But we know what the team hasn't just become bad hockey players overnight. You know what I mean? We know what we're capable of when we all play our best, and we've seen glimpses of that coming down the stretch. As you say, we haven't played at the Forum. We've been away. Again, tough buildings to go in. Do you know what I mean? So there's been a lot of tough games coming down, and we've played some really good hockey. So obviously that's something that we can take in next season. Is look, we've kind of, unfortunately, on the end of we haven't won a trophy this year. We haven't won anything this year. So it's just another reset. It's another start again at the next year. So we can kind of go in with less pressure. Blackburn will be the team to beat. Obviously, D-side had their number in the cup, and we'll see what happens next weekend. D-side might do the double over them, so we'll just see what happens. But yeah, we'll go into summer lots of positives, and hopefully we can build a strong team for next year.
Yeah, Jono.
Yeah. Does the manner of the defeat and the fact it was a foregone conclusion, like come middle, second period, third period, that the game was, does it make it easier to forget and move on and get ready for next season, or does that sting the manner in the way it was? Because I tell you what, if we lost in overtime, I lost by 1 goal, I think I probably would have cried for that 3-hour bus journey home.
Yeah, I think if you lose in by the overtime of 1 goal, you start scrutinising your game a bit more and think that chance there would have made a difference. This chance there, there was a few big moments over the course of the 2 legs that could have changed it. Notably, we had a 5-on-3 on Sunday night that we couldn't capitalise on. I think Harrison made 3 huge saves in the course of a 30-second spell. if one of them goes in, we've still got a 5-on-4 power play. We managed to convert that. That could be back within 2. That's a big moment of the game. Would we have won the game? No, but the stretch, it might have swayed the game, or the pressure might have been in, and we might have played a bit differently. I think when we didn't convert on that power play, it was almost, obviously it was a bit deflating. So yeah, it probably is in the back of everyone's minds that the chance may have gone. Obviously it hurts losing any game. Us and Blackburn have kind of had a bit of a rivalry over the past, I could say 30 years, you know what I mean? Like going back to Bombers days. But yeah, especially since the league started back up in the Stars, and we've pretty much had a rivalry, and we've been up there both battling for numerous trophies over the course of the 10 years. So that doesn't make it any easier. They got our number this year. We've had their number the past few years. So it just goes in, it just swings and roundabouts. So yeah, it stings. It probably will sting for a while. But yeah, the guys will have deserved the time off. It's been a long season, an awfully long season. I don't think the schedule's really done anything for us in terms of not necessarily the group, but we because we didn't make the cup. That was the only time we actually got weekends free, was because we didn't make the cup final or semi-final. Do you know what I mean? And we had the Whitley game over Christmas, so we played right the way through Christmas. So the lads have definitely earned their summer break, that's for sure. And yeah, the quicker we get into this summer break, the quicker I'm sure everyone will be itching to come back come August time.
Mm-hmm. Any more, Jono?
Nope.
No. Carol, do you want to come back in?
I just wanted to really quickly touch on the end of both games, because obviously it's been a bit of a talking point since we all logged on the socials on Sunday night. So obviously Blackburn Peter think we're in the NHL and wouldn't shake hands after the game on Saturday. After the game on Sunday, I think we'll probably end up rehashing this in the game review. But obviously things happened during the game that were, shall we just politically correct say, unsavoury. And at the end of the game, we basically decided to leave the ice without shaking their hands. That's really unusual for us, and I think I might be putting words in your mouth here, but I think that was a reflection of how that game ended.
So it happened at Telford the week before, where things kind of got heated at the end of the first game. Things got heated at the end of the first game, and that was Telford away. And it was Jason Silverthorne actually said to me, he was like, should we just shake hands tomorrow night rather than potentially starting with the handshakes and then it goes to fans? I said, yep, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Then the referee, who was actually the same referee on that, who refed on Sunday night, said no, it is a league rule that you must shake hands at the end of every single game. So obviously the referee's in charge of the night. We just went along with it and said, okay, yep, we'll do it. Obviously that was then got called on Sunday, and then the referee said on Saturday, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have to go clarify the rules. So it's mixed signals and mixed clarification on both parts, and it was kind of like, well, it is what it is. It was not necessarily anyone's individual decision. It was a team decision. So, and we can't force people to do anything that they don't want to do. So yeah, that was the route that was taken. Obviously, yeah, there'll be things that come out, and there was a few things that happened towards the end of that game that I'm sure the Department of Player Safety will look into. That they review every game, so we hope that they do their job. We none of us go out there to get injured. That's certainly not what it is. I'm sure Jacob's feeling very sore after the incident, and maybe he couldn't go to work this week, so has possibly lost out some money. And that's why ultimately that's the sacrifice that some people give to play this sport. So yeah, I'm sure Docs will look into it, and they'll make the decision that they see fit. Obviously we can't have we don't have any control over that now, so it's in their hands. They're in control of that, and we'll see what the outcome of it is. doesn't really affect our season. Our season's over. It may affect Blackburn's season. Obviously, it does leave a bit of bitter taste in the mouth, and obviously, especially for Jacob, who couldn't manage to finish the game. And obviously, we're all feel for him, and hopefully has a speedy recovery and see how his summer goes. But probably not the way he wanted to start it. But yeah, we'll just see what happens and leave it in the hands of the league.
Yeah. Well, when we do finish and let you go, we will do it properly and give you the virtual handshake and kind of send you on your way nicely. Just as a, you got anything else, Carol? Are you?
No, we'll probably revisit certain incidents, I'm sure, in the game review.
I think we may, yes. I was going to say, well, obviously we've got the kind of presentation night, kind of the formal end of the club season. What's the summer like for yourself and the guys? Obviously, I know a lot of you do keep in touch through the summer and things. So we've said before it's a close looking group. So will there be a lot of kind of keeping in touch and seeing how things go during the summer before you get back on the bike, as it were, later in the year?
100%. Yeah, my hockey season hasn't finished quite yet, so I've actually got a double header away this weekend with the under-12s. We're in Manchester Saturday night and Solihull Sunday night, so can't wait for that. So yeah, we've still got a few games to finish our season. But yeah, like I said, the lads all keep in contact. We play. We see each other every Wednesday. A few of us play golf together quite a lot. So yeah, there's and then I think we've got a golf day coming up in about a month's time. I think about a month's time. So yeah, everyone will still be enjoying the summer, and yeah, we'll wait for the texts off Alan and the team and see what comes of the squad building for next year. I'm sure he's kind of got plans of what he wants to do for that. But we'll just, like I said, yeah, all the lads keep in contact. We're a close group. We probably deserve a few weekends away from each other anyway. We've been sat on buses for the past week. I think we've been sat on buses together for 12 hours every weekend for the past, what seems like 12 months. But yeah, we'll enjoy the summer and come back. And hopefully compete for trophies again next year.
Yeah, and just the last thing we've talked about with Foz and people from the club throughout the season. Despite the kind of change in form from last year, the support at the forum, the support on the road, continues to grow, continues to show up week after week, and that must be something that gives you kind of great hope for kind of keeping the club going and then come back next year with that support behind you to build on.
Massive, yeah, it is huge. I think I saw a post out on Facebook. I don't know who it was, or someone had put who's the loudest fans in the league, and I think Billingham got quite a bit of a shout out for being one of the loudest rinks in IHL North. It's a fun place to play. A lot of homegrown talent, you know what I mean, and obviously with the complement of Ian and Rowley. So, and that's kind of, I think that's is a culture of a club. That's kind of how we set ourselves up, and how we can only set ourselves up from a geographical point of view for the future. Do you know what I mean? It's hard to get people to come in and travel an hour or maybe it's an hour and a half to come to training twice a week and play games. So that's just one of the ways that we've done it, and we've been successful at it. Yeah, that might mean that we don't win trophies every year, but it means that we can put a team on the ice that are playing for the crest on the front and not necessarily the name on the back, which is something to be proud of. That goes along with the Buccaneers. They've built up a huge fan base over the course of the past 3 years. That's gone from strength to strength, and there's still work to be done, but it's getting better in between the communication with the two teams and how they work. It's the hockey in Billingham is thriving on what you would class as a very small town in grand scheme of things in UK hockey. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is massive, and I'm sure we strive every day to go out there and make the fans proud of what they're able to come and watch. And obviously at the same time we want to make it entertaining. So the more that we can compete on fronts and be mid-table to top table sides every single year, I'm hoping the support can grow and continue to grow, and we we obviously love playing there, so we hope they enjoy coming too.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and so punching very much above our weight in terms of the size of the club and the kind of there, and the success when it does come is almost sweeter. And as we know this year, Grand Slams are not for everyone. You don't need to answer. We'll take the flak for that one. But and Jono, Carol, anything else for El Capitan before we send him on his way nicely?
No, you kind of brushed over what I was going to ask about having time off over the summer, but it was more on the lines as Michael Elder, the captain, actually ever stop thinking about hockey through the summer and where he wants his team to go, and even when it's Sunday night in the middle of July, nothing else to do, does he still think about what the team would do in next season, what direction they're gonna go in, how is he gonna lead? Does the brain ever stop turning off from Billingham ice hockey?
I'd like to say it does, but it doesn't. If I'm being honest, you invest that much time into it, it's hard not to. Do you know what I mean? We spend that much time, and even with the junior club, just everything. Most nights of the week I spend at a rink, so I might have to cut down on that next year. Otherwise, I might just sell my house and just move into the Forum. But we'll, it doesn't really ever stop. I'm sure there'll be a few weeks here just to recuperate, or not train every Wednesday, Thursday. We'll still be there on a Friday. Wednesday and a Friday, to be fair. But yeah, it never really stops. And I think once you've won something and we've had success, the hunger's still there to go and get it again. Do you know what I mean? And it's how can you're thinking first and foremost, thinking how can I be better next year as an individual? How can I be better as a person? How can I be better as a captain? How can me, Chris, and Mossy be better as a leadership team? Do you know what I mean? How can everyone be better individually on ice performance, off ice performance? What can we do differently? And obviously we leave the team building over to Alan. Hopefully he's obviously hungry to build a team that'll compete on all fronts again. So yeah, it doesn't really ever stop, but we'll give it a few weeks.
Carol, did you have anything?
Yeah. Two things. One, are you aiming to retain your worst T-shirt title from last year?
Here we go.
It was a quality T-shirt. Even I had a wiggle.
I had a few too many alcoholic beverages before we took that T-shirt. So no, I'm hoping I don't retain it this year. But no, that should be another good day. I think we've got 48 people. I think we've got coming to play golf on the day, and myself and Darren. Obviously, Darren's almost the captain. We've got three captains on the team. Sipesy captains the football that we play every Wednesday in the summer, and Darren captains the golf. So you wouldn't believe the amount of work that he puts in behind the scenes for the golf day. I think that's definitely his passion. But yeah, we may be looking to do one. We'll speak to Alan and yourselves. We're possibly looking to do one at the back end of the summer, which is a more Billingham Stars focused one. But we'll see when the time comes. But no, I'm not hoping to retain the worst T-shirt.
And second, I hope that the three of us can rely on you to come on the pod a couple of times during the summer just to keep us updated with how stuff's going.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully I'll have a tan, but we'll see.
Hopefully we'll. I'd quite like a tan as well. Looking pasty white.
That's all those Sunday night at ice rinks, Carol. Stop doing that for a while.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Michael, for coming on again, as always. Much appreciated. And I'm sure you'll pass on our best and thanks to everybody on the team for everything this season. As I say, we've enjoyed watching in our different capacities. It's been fun to watch. Enjoyed the run into the playoffs. Obviously, sad it ended the way it did, but appreciate the efforts of everyone. Enjoy your summer. We'll talk to you as and when, and we'll catch up again real soon, I hope.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everything. Speak to you all soon. Enjoy your summer.
With a virtual handshake, we would bid you farewell, and you are kindly asked to leave. Thank you. I could have just deleted him and then he's gone, but you know that's not our way. Yeah, always good to chat with Mikey. he kind of summed up the weekend in his first answer. So we could kind of just stop here if you want. Nothing else to talk about. Have we? Really?
They kind of is.
Uh,
Unfortunately,
well,
it kind of is.
Thanks to Mikey. Got to talk to him, and we'll see what he does in the golf day with the junior team, and then we'll catch up in the summer, as Carol says, and in our occasional summer episodes.
It just goes to show, though, doesn't it? Like, this is an amateur sports person, and how much he thinks about the game, the team, and the effort that goes into it. It's absolutely scary. I mean, I'm quite fortunate to know that I've kind of done semi-pro myself on the cricket side of it, and I know the efforts and the time, and same with you, Craig, with hockey and cricket as well. Like, but the amount of time you put in as an amateur sportsman is absolutely crazy. And then to get the crap that happened on Sunday late in the game, it just makes you wonder why they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're exactly the same, though, aren't we? It's like, it's the summer, but you don't want to think about hockey. But you're thinking about hockey because you can, like, say, even the things we do, you think about. Maybe it's not to the same degree as Mike and the players, but you think about what you do. Can you do it better? Can you make any improvement? We're all exactly the same. We want.
Yeah. Well, Fee's already give me a bit of a clip because I've already started on stuff. It's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm just looking at this. I'm looking at that. If I can get this sorted now, I don't have to do it later. And it's like, just have some time off, man. Just chill. So, yeah. Might have to take some of that advice.
Yeah. No, but it was good to talk to Mikey and appreciate him and the team for their efforts all year.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
I suppose we better get into the meeting. We'll talk about the good bit first, the Saturday night. As we said, it was a two-leg semi-final. Blackburn came to the Forum on Saturday. It finished 3-3 after 60 minutes. Obviously, a two-leg tie, so no overtime or anything like that. So they finished with a tie. Stars goals from James Moss with 2 and Chris Sykes. The Hawks goals from Charlie Thompson, James Ruddock, and Adam Barnes. Shots galore, 50-43, the shots on goal in favour of the Billingham Stars. And as we said, Carol, it was a good old-fashioned blood and thunder playoff tie, and Billingham more than gave their own. Held their own.
I mean,
let's speak English, whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean.
We knew what you meant. No, but I think we just said it with Mikey there. We really should have won that game. Probably kicking ourselves. Well, I know they were kicking themselves because we really should have won that game. Fantastic game from both sides, though. Absolutely everything. Going at each other, proper playoff mentality. Crowd were massively up for it. Lots of noise. I don't think Blackburn brought quite as many as they usually do. Easter weekend's always funny, isn't it, really? Because people make other plans and what have you. So I just thought it was everything you wanted a playoff game to be, other than should have won it, and probably by more than one. So that bit was unfortunate. And obviously now we know the full story. It's definitely come back to bite us on the bum. But what a tie Saturday was. There was loads you could talk about. Both keepers on top of the game. There was one save that Harrison made, and I think it was third period. And I just kind of looked and went, how have you done that? I mean, genuinely, how have you done that? It was that sort of game. It was fantastic.
Not the one he kind of reached behind him and just
almost hit his shoulder to reach behind him and get the puck. It was fantastic. So what can there's not a lot I can really add other than I had some newbies on the roll with me, and they were absolutely enthralled from start to finish, and kind of had to just say it's not always like this. But I think there's only been maybe the Telford game the week before, and ironically enough, the Blackburn game right at the start of the season that got anywhere close. I thought it was brilliant. Really, really great advert for this level of hockey.
Yeah. And the goal, we'll talk about the goals when in more detail, but Mossy, what else can we say about Mossy? The 2 breakaway goals, the second one in particular was disgustingly nice. And the noise, I say that second period, it was, I think it was said to Foz in the interview, it was reminiscent of the second period against Telford where we absolutely killed them, but it was 1-0. And it was the same sort of thing on Saturday against Blackburn. We were all over them and we were just ahead by the odd goal. But the noise, as we said, Mikey, the fans this year have been fantastic at the Forum. It kept building and building, and Sexy scored, and then Mossy scored the breakaway. It was like lift off. It was yeah. I wanted to keep that period forever, but then it was the interval, so I had to stop. Never mind. Jono, your thoughts on Saturday?
I suppose it was one of the performances that we wished and hoped for all season long. I mean, it shows you how big it was when at the final buzzer, their fans are celebrating and cheering like they've won a game. Their bench and their team were celebrating and cheering like they'd won a game because they just knew they'd got out of jail. That should have been at least, I will go with a bare minimum of 2-goal advantage with the 2 posts that we hit. But even like say the Harrison save, that should have been a goal. So we should have been going back to Blackburn with at least 3 goals, and then that makes Sunday a whole lot different. Hey, they still probably would have come out as at 100 mile an hour on the Sunday and scored after 10, 15 seconds or whatever it was. But no, Saturday's performance was absolutely incredible. But where's that team been all season long? But I think it's just one of those. We had a hangover from last season. I think that's plain to say now. We can definitely say we had a hangover from last season. I think it took us a hell of a lot of time to get going this season, just showing glimpses here and there. But the back end of the season, we've shown who the Billingham Stars are and how good this team is. And unfortunately, we just didn't get over the line on Sunday.
Yeah. And you talk about that hangover. Obviously, there were a few changes in personnel. The replacements came up from the books rather than signed from externally. So, which has been the Billingham way, which we talked about. And again, it took time to adjust, and the roster wasn't a full roster every week. So it wasn't really until this last maybe month of the season where we've had a settled roster at weekends. We've been able to play that kind of hockey that we wanted to do, and it showed in the results we're able to do. Winning in Solihull, winning in Telford. You know, the Telford weekend with beating D-side over 2 legs, even though it wasn't a 2-leg tie. You know what I mean? The results came when we had the full bench and people were able to play their full games.
Yeah, and that just shows that what this level's all about. You do need that commitment. We had that commitment last year. I don't think we went anywhere short benched. I think there might have been one game when half the squad were on the deathbed when we went to Nottingham. It's probably the only time we were short benched last year. And unfortunately, this year, work, life got in the way this year, and some things, and our injuries. We had a lot of injury luck last year, which we don't normally get, to be honest. This year, we've not really had. And obviously, Lewis came in quite late. He came in a day or 2 before the deadline day. If he comes in November time, who knows where the league campaign could have went. So no, but commitment is huge, and you're never going to question that of these guys. We know what they give up. We know what they go through. We heard Mikey say there, like he's going to have a summer of hockey, but there probably won't be a day where he doesn't think about what's to come in the future. And that'll be the same for most of them. So yeah, big hats off to them to put that sort of performance in when it could have just been really easy to say, yeah, you know what, we've had it is what it is this year. We beat Telford. This is where the story ends. But no, they give absolutely everything Saturday, and for a better word, have gone 4-0 down Sunday. They came out fighting in the second and did all they could to get back into the game. And as Mikey said, if we get 2 goals on that 5-on-3, it's a 1-goal game, and who knows where that could go. So yeah, big moments. It just didn't happen for us over the weekend. You could argue all the big calls went against us and the big moments went against us. And that's just the way it goes. We got every single call going last year. So season's closed now, and hopefully we don't break any mirrors and those hockey gods down look a bit more favourable on us next year.
Yeah. Carol, you're going to come in as well?
Yeah, I think Sunday, you know, over the two legs, I said last week the best team would win. And I think just based on that first period performance in Blackburn, you have to give it to Blackburn over the tie, because the best team always does win, and we can't get past that. Kind of only had ourselves to blame for that first period. There's a phrase that I could use, that I almost did use on the interview with us. It's got a swear word in it, so I'm not going to use it now. But we did poop the bed somewhat in the first period on Sunday, and I think what's frustrating, and it's been frustrating all season, because we've kind of banged on about our lack of luck, the fact that we can't seem to put a 60-minute game together, and then you look at Saturday and Sunday and you get 60 minutes of pure magic on Saturday and 20 minutes of not on Sunday, and again a bit of an encapsulation of the season, if you like. Credit to the lads though, nothing but pride for the way they didn't put their heads down. They could have done. It could have been. Do you know what? It got to the end of the first period on Sunday. I thought this is going to be a cricket score, but it wasn't. The lads battled back, and you've got to give them all the credit in the world for that, because we haven't had the results there this season, and it would have been very easy to go, oh, here we go again. But you know, playoff hockey's different. Anything could have happened, but unfortunately, the way it's gone for us this season, anything didn't happen, if that makes sense. So, five out of six periods, really great stuff over the weekend. But the champions are the champions for a reason. They weathered the storm on Saturday. They burgled getting out of the Forum at dead level, and then they put on a show for their fans on Sunday. And again, I will say, didn't think it was that particularly full in Blackburn on Sunday, but again, I will say mitigation. Easter weekend is a bit of a pain for people going away, and it was lovely weather.
And the weather was decent.
Yeah, lovely weather. So
and the weather was decent.
Definitely. I mean, we'll kind of segue into Sunday now anyway. So there were a couple of, Jono mentioned the calls going against and what have you. There was a couple of calls on Saturday which went one way, could have went another way. Obviously, there was a couple of calls on Sunday. So we'll do the details of Sunday, then we'll get more into what we're talking about with the around the edges of the game, you could say. So Hawks win 8-3 on Sunday night for an 11-6 aggregate. Their goals: 2 for Jacob Lutwich, 3 for Adam Barnes, Hayek, Zajac, and Thompson. With their other ones for the Stars: Ben Greenhalgh and 2 for Owens Grittans. 8-3 your final, and as Carol says, it was a 4-0 first period. They scored after 18 seconds and again after 3 minutes. And as you see, you got that kind of feeling it was going to be one of those nights. But as we said, never give up. Didn't stop till the kind of final buzzer, as it were. Anything else on the actual game of Sunday? You've already said your bits, Carol. Yeah.
I just wanted to add, I'm fairly sure one of those Rollies goals wasn't actually Rolly, it was Wilco with a tip, but
I think so. I think so.
So Wilco's been diddled out of a goal there. He took the line, and he definitely celebrated like it was his goal. I'm fairly sure that was it.
Yeah, it was a tip in from the top of the crease, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. So one of those Rolly
outside
goals.
The crease, though, so that's important to note.
Yeah, top of the crease.
Yeah.
Which top, though, do you mean? The inside of the top or the outside of the top?
He was well outside, nowhere near the blue paint. Anything else on the game before we talk about the other bits and pieces?
Not really. I mean, Adam Barnes probably turned up for the one and only game he's turned up for this year. Yeah. He was absolutely electric on Sunday. Probably haven't seen him that good since the Morley final, when funny enough he did the same thing to us. So yeah, he was absolutely electric. Same with White, he wasn't as good as Adam Barnes on Sunday, but he was much. The pair of them were much improved from from the Saturday, put it that way. But yeah,
Mhm.
Adam Barnes had a day out for himself, and like I say, probably hasn't played that good all season, and decided to put a performance in against us.
Yeah.
Wonder if it was probably due to having that shave and a bit of lightweight flying around going on.
It's one of those places. Obviously the way the Hawks are, the fans on top of you and what have you. It's that kind of atmosphere. You need to start well, don't you, if you're going to get something down there. And as I say, it scored after 18 seconds and again after 3 minutes. That they're a very kind of momentum team. They get on a roll, and as they did in that first period, you just can't stop them when they're playing like that. Which, like you say, the talent they have, the forward strength and everything. When they get on a roll like that, few teams in our division can stop them. Carol.
Well, yeah, obviously it's the smoke machine and the flames that make all the difference.
Changing room.
Yeah, it's a funny place to go, Blackburn, because it kind of isn't the same at any one visit. It used to be years ago that I would go and I would see a lot like the Forum. I would see all the same faces, and now I go and I see maybe one or two people that I know. And there seems to be an awful lot of new people coming in, but it's new people every time. So I don't know what the fan turnover is like in Blackburn, but it does seem to be that it's new people all of the time. And that obviously affects whatever atmosphere they get, because sometimes it is really loud and really rocking, and sometimes you can hear a pin drop. It's quite odd. Sunday, like I say, because Easter weekend does funny things to hockey crowds as it is, especially when it's nice weather. I did expect to see more for a playoff semi-final game though. And I don't know that the atmosphere was as loud as I've heard it previously. But certainly the Billingham fans made their best effort to make a bit of noise from our little piece of the arena. So yeah, I mean, yes, it can be an intimidating place to go. But the only time, ironically, that I felt the crowd being noisy was when they were booing, which I don't like. I've never liked it. I don't boo the opposition. Don't boo a player when he's down injured. Why would you do that? But that's the only time I really felt that they were really loud. They booed us at the end, obviously, because we didn't shake hands. But Mikey's explained why that would be. Yeah, so they can get quite aggressive, but I don't know. I'm not sure the crowd played that big a part on Sunday. Certainly not as big a part as it has done in the past.
Yeah. What was before we talk about the other incidents, John, or the anything else on the game on Sunday? Or
no, like I say, they jumped on us early. Adam Barnes was sensational in that first period. Whether it was their game plan to do that and try and put the game to bed in the first period deliberately so they could rest some key players, because I think it's quite obvious to see that one or two of those guys for the Hawks are very injured. I mean, if you see Andy McKinney walking around, it looked like he was in a spot of bother, and he didn't seem to be moving very well in the game as well. And trying to catch up with White and Barnes is never the easiest as well during a game. So maybe it was one of those things where if they could do the damage early, I think it was all the first line until quite late on that got all the goals. They dominated really early on, and they kind of put the game to bed. And you could see the first line getting a bit more rest as the game would go on. But other than that, no. Like I say, I agreed with Carl last week. The one thing for sure was the best team was going to win, and there was going to be no controversy. There still wasn't. The only controversy was the incident that happened and didn't need to happen because of where the game was at. But no, the best team won. They won the league. The best team. They won over the weekend over 2 legs. They're the best team. And that's just the way sport goes. You have to have winners and lose. And unfortunately, this year, no trophies for us. And we ended up as a team that lost this year.
Yeah, and the phrase I used on Sunday night after the result was we kind of poked the bear on Saturday, and they kind of woke up on Sunday and kind of poked us back, as it were. So we, but as I say, nothing much on the game. As I say, I think we said everything with Mike and with ourselves. So the 8-3 final. The other things around the game, obviously there was two things on Saturday. There was Dylan Hullaby's boarding penalty on Lewis in the first, I think it was, and then Bobby Streetley kneeing penalty on Ian in the third. Both called as minors. Dylan's, I think, no argument, shouldn't have been a minor. It should have been at least a major. Bobby's is a bit more, I don't know, a bit more of a grey area. It's not as black and white. But the big incident on Sunday, obviously, it's 4 minutes from the end of the game. It's a 7-3 score. Liam Chonick skates through the crease in front of Jacob, takes Jacob out. Obviously, a lower body injury, leaves the arena on crutches. Obviously, we'll see what the damage is. I think he was in seeking treatment today. I think was the
yeah, it was today or tomorrow. Can't remember. Yeah, been that many comments over the last 24, 48 hours.
So do you want to take them in? Do you want to take them in order? We'll start with Dylan Hullaby.
Yeah, let's go in order.
Yeah. So obviously the ref called it straight away, then had a conflab with both of his linos, and then called a minor. I couldn't see it real time because obviously where the announcer is, it was right below me, so I couldn't see the incident. Obviously, I've seen the video since. Your thoughts on the Hullaby hit, Carol?
That's not a 2-minute minor, that's for sure. The fact that the ref had a discussion with both of his linos and came up with 2 minutes for boarding is slightly laughable. I think even in real time, I could see it, and most of the crowd could see it, and that wasn't a 2-minute minor. I'm not going to have a rant about refs. I probably will. I'll end up having a rant about refs later, but it's reckless at the end of the day. It's extremely reckless. He's made no attempt to play the puck. He's made every attempt to play the body into the boards. And I think that's the kindest thing I can say about it. And he's ended up pretty much throwing Lewis headfirst into the boards. Reckless, dangerous. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Jono, your thought?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. It's not a good hit, and I'm trying to come up with several scenarios to how it could only be a 2-minute. I mean, Hullaby knows he's 4 foot bigger than the guy he's hitting, so he must know that he's in control of the situation. So he has to be aware of his surroundings and what he's doing and the distance from the boards. His hands go probably just above the nameplate of Lewis's back, and then a forceful shove. It's as simple. Checking behind, boarding is easy call. But when you see someone's head bounce off a board like that, I've been saying it all season long. Just call the 5-minute major, deal with it on Monday. Get that right. Get that crap cut out of our game, or it's going to continue. Now, was the referee thinking, oh, well, it's playoff hockey. I don't really want to get anyone banned because it's 2 legs. This is an IHL North 1, not the National Hockey League playoff, Stanley Cup playoffs. Lads got to work Monday. So I don't know whether he got just a little bit, oh, it's playoff hockey. And I'll try to do the minimum I can. But no, we've got to start stamping this crap out, or it's going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. That individual's got away with so much this season, and I don't care. It's because of the size of the bloke. It's irrelevant. He needs to be in control. He's the aggressor in the situations. Just get the call on the ice right and deal with it Monday.
Yeah. No, agreed. I say I was the way because I could see where I was. I could see the ref. His hand went straight up, so I thought it was obvious what he was, but obviously had the conversation and came with a minor. So again, that's what was the first one. Later on, it was Bobby Streetley on Ian Brown. Again, it was called a minor for kneeing. I did see this one. It looked knee on knee. How intentional, how deliberate is the argument you can make. But Ian was right against the boards in front of the Hawks bench, and Bobby came along the blue line. And to me, he led with a knee. Whether that fits the criteria for more than a minor, again, I'm not a referee. I don't know. Carol, do you want to pick that one apart?
Yeah, I'm a bit the same as you. I think this one's a bit grayer. A referee's not supposed to guess intent. I would be loath to guess at what was going through Bobby Straightley's mind. I don't think, given the type of player he is, that he's intended to do anything. I do believe it was knee-on-knee contact. Was it a major? Borderline. Again, the referee's probably called it on being a playoff game and given him 2 minutes. If he could possibly give a, I don't know, 3.5 or a 4 minute penalty for that, then yeah. But a little grayer for me, that one. I'm not sure that the intent was there. I'm not sure whether I'm not even sure it was knee on knee. I thought it was at the time. I haven't seen a clip of it. So yeah, grey area for me. Probably lucky to get away with a 2 minute though.
Yeah, Jono.
See, for me, I thought this one was spot on. Not a knee on knee. I didn't, from my angle, I didn't think it was a knee on knee. If I'm being quite honest, I thought Ian was dangling with the puck, kind of just lost a little bit of control. Tried to skip out the way of one hit and kind of put himself in a vulnerable position. And if anything, Bobby Straightley was probably more of a late hit than anything else. And I thought, due to probably the miscontrol of the puck and putting himself in a vulnerable position and the hit being a bit late, I think late hits are now interference, aren't there? And I thought that was probably where I stood with that. I mean, that was just from the view I had. I haven't seen any other angles of it, so I couldn't say it was if knees were involved or anything.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then we come to Sunday. Obviously, as we said, it was the game was done. It was 7-3. It was less than 5 minutes to play, and Liam Chonnock goes through. The blue paint takes out Jacob. Gets out the other side of the blue paint. He meets Darren Stattersfield, who says you shouldn't have done that in the way that Darren does. Chonnock gets 2 for interference, 2 for goaltender interference, 2 for roughing. And Darren gets a 5 in the game for fighting. We have seen there's been a few clips here, there, and everywhere. What was your view on the night, Caroline? If you've seen anything afterwards since?
I thought at the exact moment it happened, exactly what I still think now I've seen the clips. What's he doing there? You can. I tell you what, I've seen some proper bullshit online this past couple of days of people trying to gaslight other people into thinking that that's an accidental contact. Oh no, dear, I don't think so. He has no right being there in the first place. What's he doing there? What's he skating through the crease for? He could have gone anywhere else. There's no traffic. There's no reason for him to be there. And every time I see a clip of it, it gets worse. That sneaky little slew foot, oh dear, Liam, not pleasant. Just really, really disgusting, quite honestly. And the more people try and defend it, the more angry I get about it. Put somebody in hospital, mate. Not good enough.
Yeah. And as we said, we know Jacob left the rink on crutches. You've got a whether it's a walk-in or a medical appointment with a doctor or whatever, was either today or tomorrow. So we'll wish him well for a full and speedy recovery. Jono, from your view, on the night and since?
Yeah, the night actually had a decent view, and at the time I just thought it was cheap, it was pointless. It felt like that they were mocking us, the beat us on the scoreboard, and now they were just going to take liberties, or maybe it was still bitter from last year that we managed to, grand slam it. But it was just awful to see from the angle I had. It was only when I saw the video later on that I seen that it was a slew foot, and it was only on the video that you see the time and the space and what was around Charnock before the contact. He looks around and has a decision to make, and he clearly decides to say, I'm going through the paint to make contact. he has to make that decision. Otherwise, he just skates off in another direction around the back of the net, or even cuts a little bit harder and avoids the blue paint at all. Jacob is unaware. You can see that from the video. Eventually, I think he starts to slide forward and maybe line up for a shot from the blue line, maybe. But to cut through the crease, to put your foot behind another player's foot who doesn't know you're there is just cheap. It's sickening. And to be fair, more cowardice that he didn't even answer the bell to Darren as well. At least have the guts to go there and then say, you know what, I deserve what's coming here. But no, he didn't even do that. And then he has the absolute audacity to go to the crowd and cheer and be proud of his actions. I hope he gets a ban just as long for that he did for the hit on Jacob, because I don't even want to swear, to be honest, because it's not worth it. But it was just absolutely cheap and disgusting. Just to celebrate what he'd done was outrageous. And to be fair, the referee has literally called him a favour. It's what he's done. The penalties are a favour, so he doesn't get banned for next week. That's, again, makes the whole situation worse. Roughing. If it's roughing with Darren, therefore it's fighting. It's as simple as that. Because that's what it was. So why look after him? Interference. Well, we know you can call 5-minute major for interference, call interference. The rules are in black and white. So just call it easy. Like you said, just call a 5-minute and change it on the Monday if that's what's necessary. Rules are there that they can be changed, so he's not banned. Just get it right, and then let the admin people worry about it on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, or whatever it may be. But as for the hit and the contact, nothing but cheap. And to be fair, I hope he gets banned going into next season, because that's what it deserves. A slew foot is cheap and nasty as anything I've seen this season. And we've seen cross checks to the head, slashes to the head, butt ends to the head. Slew footing's nothing but an intent to injure somebody. Yeah.
Well, I say it was called a minor on the night, and he got a minor for roughing. Darren got a 5 in game for fighting unwilling, but the unwilling got a roughing minor. So how's that unwilling? Whatever. We'll start Carol off on a referee thing again, so we'll not do that. We'll save that for summer. So it was, and obviously then we talked about the thing with Mikey, the handshakes, and obviously Mikey's give the reason. I don't think we have a problem with what the guys did at the end of the game.
No, I don't. And also, I will point out to all the nice people on social media in the Northwest, the reason Lewis Baldwin went over to shake hands is because he knows them all, because he used to play for your team. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but somebody didn't, because they jumped over the barrier to specifically abuse him at the end of the game, and then proceeded to abuse his dad, who also used to coach Blackburn Hawks.
Yeah. So
yeah, Lewis had a good reason for going to shake those people's hands, including, by the way, his brother-in-law. Do you know, I sometimes do wonder about the mentality of some people who don't just stop and think about why these things happen. But there you go. The actions and of some of the crowd on Sunday left a lot to be desired. Don't be abusing your former players and former coach. That's just out of order. Booing Jacob when he's down on the ice, that's out of order. Trying to make out like it's Jacob's fault, that's out of order. There's an awful lot that went wrong in the last 5 minutes of that game for me. Yeah.
No, and I say that I think one of the lines I saw on Sunday night after the handshake gate, which is obviously is obviously it's a respect thing, but respect has to be earned.
Yes, very much.
And
so.
that's what it is with me. So no problem at all with what the Billingham Stars did on post game on Sunday. As Mikey said, if they'd said on Saturday, you know, if the coaches had spoken, or if Andrew McKinney had spoken to Mikey and said, look, we don't want to do this at the end of the game, Mikey might have not agreed with it, but would have known what was going to happen, as instead of our guys lining up and just looking lost at centre ice because Blackburn are just staying in their own zone, not shaking hands. So I need time off. I'm done. I'm finished. I need time off.
There is the short memory, of course, of most of Blackburn's players buggering off the ice at the end of the game at the playoff finals last year.
Yeah.
But everybody seems to have conveniently forgotten that as well.
All but a handful, which was obviously similar to what happened last night. The upshot of it is, Stars season is in the books. They will not play no more this season. As we said to Mikey, there's a presentation that you look forward to, and then that'll be the end of season 25-26. Quickly, just to tidy up a few notes. The other semi-final on the weekend went the way of the D-side Dragons. A 6-2 win in Hull on Saturday night set them up. It was a 6-5 second leg to the Dragons on Sunday in D-side. So they win 12-7 overall. Hat-trick for Cromie on Saturday night. 2 for Cromie, 2 for Witkowski on Sunday. Hull's goals seem to be shared around. So Hull's fairy tale against him ourselves ends in the semi-final, and we get the 1v2 matchup in the playoff final, which we mentioned, and Jono kind of trailed in his prediction when we talked about playoffs. So in the Steel City Showdown at the weekend, the Division 1 North final, 4:15 on Saturday, will be Blackburn versus D-side. Thoughts on the whole D-side semi, and then a quick word about the final on Saturday. John, do you want to kick off this one?
Yeah. Obviously, I had a quick glance. I even had a little flick through the YouTube footage of the game in Hull. D-side, look up for it. I think they probably took the foot off the gas a little bit on the Sunday, but Saturday they certainly looked like they had a lot of jump in the game from what I was watching. They look up for it, and I think they probably feel that they are probably the favourites for the playoff title. They've got Blackburn's number, but it is a one-off game on a much bigger pad with various fan bases in the arena. So it's certainly going to be an interesting. I mean, just on a whole, I think the 4 games are going to be absolute crackers. Well, maybe not the games on Sunday, but all the finals on Saturday are going to be absolutely sensational. They really are. They're going to be great games. But for the whole game, I mean, they went down swinging. They didn't give up on it. It's just D-side a much the better team this year. And I mean, is it too early to say? Possibly title favourites next year.
Carol, the Hull Jets, credit them on the Saturday, their home leg, got a 4-figure crowd in Hull Arena for their playoff semi. So the crowds across the division, again, we've said it a few times, continue to grow, and great effort getting the big crowd in and pushing a playoff semi-final. Obviously didn't go their way, as we know how talented D-side are, but a great effort getting to the semi-final, but an exciting final to look forward to.
Yeah, me spouting off about crowds over Easter being rubbish, and there's Hull and D-side putting massive numbers up, just making me look like an idiot. It's not that difficult, to be fair. Hull had all the grit, but they needed the bouncers this weekend, and they needed an awful lot of puck luck as well. Clearly didn't get it. I don't think we expected anything other than D-side getting through. I think Jono's dead right about this one. I think they might even be slight favourites heading into the weekend. And certainly with the number of players they signed on 2-year contracts, they're looking already like they might even start as favourites for next season. But all credit to Hull. 6th seed getting through the semi-final is never a bad thing. So all credit to them. All credit to them for battling back on the Sunday as well. I think when we saw the Saturday score, we all thought it was going to be a lot tougher for them on the Sunday, but they've battled, and maybe D-side did take the foot off the gas a little bit, but at the end of the day, the score is what it is. Good one, Hull. Well done. You can come and join us in the bleachers on Saturday as we as we watch the final from the sidelines.
6 seed getting a semi-final rings a bell for ourselves in once upon a time. So following in the footsteps, very good. So the Steel City Showdown, as we've said, if you're not already going, there are still tickets available. It's 4 divisional finals on Saturday, and then the 2 national finals on Sunday. Obviously, last year was the first time they did it. The Saturday games, it went past midnight. It was like 20 hours of NIHL hockey. It was
unbelievable.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And don't go telling everyone, but I'm kind of buzzing we're not involved this year, so I can really enjoy myself.
Like 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
About 10:30 the first game, I think.
Yeah.
10:15. I am buzzing we're not there this year.
Yeah.
Just a nice relax and enjoy.
Yeah, our division final is 4:15-ish, depending on what happens in previous ones. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend if you're looking for I know we've said people want the summer, but if you still want a hockey fix this weekend, Ice Sheffield is the place to be. Look on England Ice Hockey for ticket information. A word about the North 2 as well. The Buccaneers had their semi-final. Unfortunately, their tie kind of was the opposite of ours. They had the away tie first and brought a big deficit back to the Forum. Give it a good go. Scored the first 3 goals on Sunday in the second leg. But in the end, the Sutton Sting, league champions, too strong for the Billingham Buccaneers. So they also end their season in the semi-final. But as Mikey said as well, the Bucks continue to grow on and off the ice as well. So hockey in Billingham alive and well. Anything about the Steel City Showdown before we quickly go to AOB and then home time?
Watch all games.
All the games.
Division 2 game was a classic last year.
Can I just point out, I think the way it's ended up, the Billingham fans are pretty much sat with D-side, aren't they?
We're alongside them, I think, yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. So not only will be probably lending our voices, but D-side second team making the finals as well. I think D-side's bit of the rink might be the place to be on Saturday.
Yeah, there will be a square of Yorkshire that is forever North Wales. But yeah, good shout. I forgot to mention that D-side's second team, Dragons 2. They were the 6th seed as well, I think. And they upset the apple cart to make the final. So they take on the Sutton Sting. Obviously, Sting will be huge favourites, but it's a one-off game. Who knows? So 4 great games, divisional finals, and then national finals on Sunday. Any other business? What are you going to do, Jono? You've got nothing to sell.
I've still got raffle tickets to sell for the warm-up jerseys, wherever I've hid them. I can't even get used to it. They're there. That's what them ones there. Still get your raffle tickets while you can. I have been told there isn't actually many left. So if you want one of these awesome jerseys, the Arrow one off, there is only 30 jerseys that we got this year for players and a few spares for players who might have stepped up. So there is only 30 of them. There'll be no more. They're not going to be ever getting sold. They won't be getting remade. Something will be completely new next year. So if you want one of these awesome warm-up jerseys, every single one of them have been worn by the players. Even these 2 here that I've got behind me, they too were worn until they were changed. So every single one of them is game worn. Get your tickets. There is only a few left. So please, if you want one of these jerseys, got a chance of winning one in 30, isn't it? So got a great chance of winning one. So do get into that raffle. Other than that, I mean, I don't know what I can say to the fans. I check in with Trudy and Richard who ran the table all season long, and yeah, I probably do give my daughter a bit of a hard time, but I think she's done an absolutely amazing job this year doing that, and quite a bit of the opposite of me. She is in shyness, so I can only thank you all for helping and just taking your time with her while she's on the table, while she's serving you, because it's just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart in that sense. But for the merch that you bought this year and the following and the backing of the supporters club that you've give, it truly is heartwarming. And like I say, every penny's gone back into the team. in one way or another. So do keep posted over the summer, because we are going to try and do a lot more in that sense.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Trudy for Monday as well. You've got a teenager, Jono? How's that?
I got a teenager. Yeah. I need to check the birth certificate.
Carol, AOB from you?
Yeah, don't forget this presentation night's tickets still on sale. I keep doing my plugs for Alan. If you do need them now, email Alan. It's alan@flavelwelding.co.
Please come. It's a great night. It is a fantastic night.
It is a great night. Please do come. And the other thing is something we might talk about on the pod next week. I'm just running through all of the comments that are currently going on, because there is currently a live episode of 4,000 and Counting happening. And strangely enough, guess what's not being talked about quite deliberately? Who'd have thought?
It's almost as though the producer of 4,000 and Counting has some sort of vested interest.
Mm-hmm. How funny.
So,
quite happy to throw the teams under the bus, but not his own. Awesome.
We shall revisit that in the future. All that remains is to say a thank you, as always, to Carol and to Jono for tonight and for all season. We've pretty much done one of these every week, give or take one or two. Where I think Christmas we missed one, and then there was another one where we just couldn't make it all work. So
you were poorly one week, I think. Weren't you poorly one week?
Yes, I couldn't speak one week.
Yeah, you literally couldn't speak. Yeah.
So this is episode 30. Plus we did a Henry Stalin special. So episode 31 of the season, which isn't bad. So we'll see what I say. It's Steel City. Then there's the Coventry playoffs. And the Elite League playoffs the same weekend, and then heads at the GB. So we'll see what we're going to do about episodes forthcoming, but keep an eye on socials media. But huge thank you to Carol and Jono all season. It's been fun catching up every week to relive the good and maybe not so good of the Billingham Stars this season. Thank you very much for your time, as always. Thanks to everybody who watches and listens and sends it to their friends and sends it to people who don't like, and just makes them watch it and listen to it, and whatever you do, likes and reviews and shares and all that sort of stuff, still very much appreciated. We'll kind of draw a veil there for now. Season for the Stars may have ended, but there is still hockey to come, so keep it here for more from your Billingham Stars podcast. But for now, from STARCAST, bye for now.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.